Great, thanks, Mike. Hi, everyone. This is Mike Dolly. This is a meeting of the Sleepy Hollow Local Development Corp. The date is March 22nd. We'll start off by taking roll. Can the directors announce themselves?
Anthony Scarpati.
Teresa Oeste.
Teresa.
And Ray.
And Ray, thank you. And this is Mike Dolly. How about staff?
Anthony Giaccio is on.
Joan Bucci is on.
Dan Breyer.
Mike Curdy.
And Mike Curdy from Harris Beach. Thank you. With that, we've got minutes from our last meeting, which was March 8th. Ken wasn't at that meeting, but does anyone have any questions or comments?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I seconded a
yeah, exactly.
from afar.
Ken is mentioned as seconding a meeting, even though he wasn't there. So the very last, well, the next to last sentence of the meeting minutes needs to be corrected.
I'll be sure to make that correction. My apologies.
Okay, no worries. Other than that, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes with that correction.
I will second that motion. Mike? Are we still operating here, guys?
I'm here.
Mike?
Yeah, hi.
There you are.
I don't know what happened there.
Teresa, motion to accept the minutes as changed.
Yeah.
I-
Couple of ayes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Ken, you want to abstain?
I do.
Okay. Show that for the record. Thank you. Minutes are approved. Next are expenditures. We've got a total of $59,818.99. Well, who is that talking? Is that
It's Anthony Scarpati. I muted you by accident, Mike. That's what happened.
oh,
Sorry
okay.
about that.
Got it.
But Anthony, it's you have background noises.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so any questions on the expenditures? I have
No.
one for you, Joan. The redevelopment of East Parcel for WSP, is that something that could be put into the signature fund?
Yeah, Dan
Or
looked at.
Dan Breyer, I'll
Yeah.
ask you.
I think we can if we need to, yeah. If we want to shift it over.
Well, it's not a question of whether we need to or not. Is it justly go into that bucket? If so, let's put it there.
Let me just pop open the actual invoice real quickly. Okay, yeah, geotech. Yeah, I mean, this, I guess, is, technical support for fill operations, graphic support for CFA grant applications. So that's planning and development for, our East Parcel projects.
Okay, I think we should move that over then.
No problem.
How do you want to handle that, Joan? Should we Should we void this check that you gave me and you'll handle it from there?
Yes, I will, yeah, just void that check. And then I will move it up, and then when I submit it to signature, it will be in the upper portion of
Okay,
the,
very good, thanks. I'm sorry, did I get a motion to approve the expenditures?
Move to approve the expenditures as corrected by the previous discussion.
Second.
Sec,
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, okay. Thank you. We have no resolutions tonight. With that, we'll move on to the consultant report. Dan, any updates?
Yeah, so just with phase 1B, still suspended, though we are taking delivery this week and into next of about 2,500 cubic yards of fill from Durante. We also have several additional sources that could begin deliveries as soon as the end of this month or early April. We're getting closer to being able to wrap up the phase 1B portion of the project. Again, just still waiting to import, give or take about 25,000 cubic yards of fill, which should be enough to complete, that phase. As far as phase 2 design, the conditional letter of map revision should be complete by the end of March. And that's going to determine the reduced base flood elevation that the DPW can be designed to, as well as the reduced amount of fill import, as well as settlement period that would be kind of goes hand in hand with the importing of the remaining fill. As far as phase 2 site work, we're aiming, or we should be aiming for a May submission to the planning board for site plan approval. And in advance of that, we should be seeking to arrange bi-weekly meetings with the planning board, specifically for this project to help expedite the approval process and make sure we'll, be ready to go, shovels in the ground by the end of the year for the earthwork portion. East Parcel Viaduct. We met today in the field with Metro North to go over the contractor's work plan, as well as talk about the force account that'll be required for this work. Metro North sent over that force account, which is in the ballpark of about $14,000 estimated.
I'm sorry, can you just explain what's a force account?
So force account it essentially covers Metro North's time, right, to oversee the work. And in this case, there are a couple operations setting up a protective netting around the work area that essentially prevents, people or objects from falling, into, the railroad tracks while the work is ongoing. Yeah, and then in particular, the pumping of the concrete to form the columns that are going to temporarily support the deck while that operation is ongoing. That has the potential to foul the track. So Metro North will have a flagman on hand while that operation is ongoing, just to make sure that if anything happens, they can react to the situation and keep everyone safe, stop a train, do whatever they need to do.
So
So-
14,000 is pretty low, and they just have that to draw from for those costs.
Correct. Again, 14,000, they basically estimate, I think, 5 days of flag person time, as well as a couple days here and there for, supervisor and things like that. I doubt that they would need all of that. From our discussion in the field, it seemed like they probably only need about 2.5 days worth of flagging time. So I would expect, if I had to guess, I'd say that number might come in closer to 10,000. But yes, essentially the force account, they give us their estimate, which is based on the contractor's work plan. We set that up in advance of the work starting. They draw down those funds, and anything that isn't spent, we get back when the work is completed.
Great.
And how long is the job expected to take once it's set up?
Only a couple of weeks. It's like a few days worth of work, a concrete pour, then they wait for several days. They come back, a couple more days work, concrete pour, you know, and the job's pretty much done.
Okay.
So it's several
So
days.
when do you think it'll start now? What best guess?
Well, the actual entry permit and insurance has been making its rounds through, you know, Metro North Legal and the various departments that all look at it before it gets signed off on, for, you know, on and off for over 3 weeks now. So it's, you know, could be as soon as this week, or maybe within a couple of weeks. But once we do get the approved permit back from Metro North, we're basically ready to go the next day. The only other thing that'll take a couple of days is to just coordinate. They need about a week's notice to make sure that they can have a flag person available. Since the first item of work is basically going to be to put up the safety netting. So we have to make that request by Tuesday of noon, the week before we want to do the work. So if we were to get the approvals tomorrow morning, let's say, and wanted to start next Monday, we'd have to, you know, put that in writing with Metro. And that's not going to happen. But Tuesday at noon is the cutoff to, you know, to schedule work for the following week. So as soon as a week, but probably within, you know, maybe a week or two, we continue to just follow up with the folks at Metro North that are handling specifically the insurance portion, since that is really, I think, the thing is just holding everything up, just
Okay.
making its way through Metro North Legal.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
And that,
then-
go ahead.
Was that it, Dan? Or I had a question for you on,
No, yeah, that's my general report.
so I heard you talking before we started a little bit. But I heard you mention the equipment that's down there. Did you discover anything else regarding what's down there and whether or not it belongs there or not?
I took a picture of a few things that seemed, you know, out of place. There's a lowboy trailer, a tractor trailer, and actually I think there's 3 tractor trailers on the site in total, 2 in the general DPW area and 1 just kind of in the middle of the site. So just trying to work with Anthony and Richie to identify who actually owns that equipment that's not, you know, immediately in the DPW area. And then, you know, we'll, like, if the stuff, which I imagine the lowboy trailer and the tractor trailer that's in the middle of the site are likely maybe Stolowski's, we'll have to get in touch and have them, you know, get it out of there. Because it, you know, at some point, you know, whether it's now or in the near future, you know, the whole site's going to be a work zone. And so, you know, we're going to be juggling some things around from time to time.
Okay, so you'll inventory everything and get rid of what doesn't belong there. And as far as charging for things, like what about that giant bin with Dibble on the side? Whose is that again? Well, we know it's his.
It's Dibble's, and that's part of a village contract to dispose of the street sweepings. So he leaves it there. When it's full, he comes, you know, empties it and puts a new bin in.
Got it. Okay.
Are we still under an agreement to allow for certain parties to park? And will that be terminated now that we're needing more of the site?
I would have to look in, like, if that you're, you know, in reference to, like, that's possibly Stolowski's been allowed to park equipment
Right.
there in the past.
Yeah.
I have to look into that.
'Cause
But
I think we had an agreement with them,
Okay.
and there was some month to month. I'm not sure if it terminated or if and actually that's a question for Joan. Have we collected what we were, you know, anticipating under that agreement for the period of time that it existed?
Yes.
But I don't need, oh yeah, okay.
Yes, we have, but he has terminated, so I'm a little surprised to hear
I got you.
stuff down there still.
Right.
But presently, we're not in
We're not, okay, operating under the agreement. Okay.
Oh, okay. All the more reason to either get them to start paying again or remove the equipment. And
Right.
maybe there's not even a choice there. Maybe he's got to remove it regardless because of what's going on. Okay.
Right.
Good. Anything else? Any old business, new business? I am going to want to go into a quick exec session to discuss a contract negotiation matter, but before that, any old business or new business?
Ken, you're muted.
Thank you, Teresa. I have a new business item. And that is a contract proposal from Margie Reddick Landscape that I just forwarded to members of the board and to the staff. And I'd like you all to take a look at it. The village engaged this firm for, as I think you know, for work at DeVries Park, immediately to the north of the common, also for another project on the traffic island on between Broadway and Old Broadway, and is impressed with her work so far, and would like to engage her or have her engaged to do the landscape design for the common. It makes a fair amount of sense since she'll be doing DeVries and that the edge of the Pecanico along there. So we think it would be continuity is important and other things. So I'd like everybody to take a look at that and with a mind towards approving that contract at our next meeting.
Okay. Anything else?
Under old business, today is Anthony Giaccio's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's actually old business. You know
That's
I
what
mean?
I said.
Oh,
Old.
but you said new business.
No.
Happy birthday, Anthony.
To save us
you.
all from expressing feelings that we don't really have, I move that the board officially wish Mr. Giaccio a happy birthday.
I'll second that.
Aye.
What the real question? The real question
Aye.
is: are all in favor?
Well,
Aye,
I
okay.
think Mr. Scarpati is going to abstain. So.
All right, great. So don't expect to make any decisions in exec. So I'll ask for a motion to go into exec.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'm signing off, everybody. Happy birthday,
Thank
Anthony.
you.
Night,
Good
Joanne.
night.
Bye, Joanne.
Thank you.
Bye.